Hello friends and welcome to the Crypto Stacker channel. My name is Dean. If you're watching my videos for the first time, please know I only make them for entertainment, education, and for community building in the crypto space. This video is about Terareum, and man, I struggled on deciding whether or not I want to make a video tonight or hold everything for tomorrow, which is Terareum Tuesday, but there's way too much cool stuff going on. And as you can see, I'm not in the craft room or on the ping pong table where I normally film. I'm actually up at my in-laws cabin at Island Park doing some construction work, trying to get some things done and improvements made. So I'm up here all by myself. I've got the time. There's such amazing things happening that I'll have to come up with some interesting ideas for tomorrow. So if you have any interesting ideas, post them in the comments. But otherwise, you guys, Terareum is on a tear right now. And the market in general is doing well. So we probably are catching some of this, a rising tide raises all the boats, right? We're probably catching some momentum from the market, but the volume is up. The price action of Terareum is impressive, not just over the 1 day, right? So currently showing 14% up in 1 day, but look at the longer term charts, up 43% in the last 7 days. Up 19% in the last 14 days, and in the last 30 days, up 113%. So absolutely crushing it. Makes me glad that I loaded up my bags when I did, but I still think there's a lot of upward momentum in this. I'm not taking profits. I'm not selling. I'm looking for a price much higher before I start to do that. Maybe in the realm of the all-time high, which was 701. Right now, we are 8023. So quite a ways to go. It would be a 4x from where we are right now. All right, let's jump in, take a quick look at what's going on with the spreadsheet, and then I'll show you some awesome things happening in the community. Today is July the 18th. We are 11 days away from a 20 quad burn. I would attribute that to some of the reason why Terareum is turning some heads and people are loading up their bags. The current holder count is over 10,500 at 10,509, increase of 32 over the last time I reported 3 days ago. Look at this. Terareum has jumped up in the rankings to 228 from 272. Okay, that's big moves, and has crested now a $100 million market cap. Now, to be in the top 100 cryptos, we would need to be near that all-time high or a market cap of around 400 million. Okay, as I look at the crypto rankings, as you look at number 100, that's the area that it's in. I would love to see Terareum be a top 100 crypto, and it's absolutely possible, especially with all the amazing things that are still coming. You guys can probably hear in my voice, I'm not usually this excited. I'm not a guy who's trying to pump the project, but there's so many cool things going on right now, and my own holdings, are up. You guys have watched these videos. I'm up basically double from where I was when I topped off my my token count at 10 trillion. So pretty awesome stuff. All right, price 8024. The volume in the last 24 hours, 184,000. The burn has ticked up to 53.72. We're going to see this start to slow down a little bit because of what's going on, some of the announcements that I'm going to show you. And for me, my reflections are going to slow down potentially to 0, which I'm totally okay with. And I'll show you why here in just a minute. All right, so burn 53.72. And in the last 3 days, 7.1 trillion tokens have burned, or, about 2.3 trillion per day, a little above the standard 2 trillion that we've been seeing. All right, so what is going on? What's creating the excitement? Why am I excited? I haven't looked at this today, and so I'm just getting a first glimpse of what's going on. We all know that Milton posted the poll on the 12th. He asked us, what do we want to do with the tax? Let's take a vote. Quite a few people voted for no tax, and then the majority voted for a 2% burn. So if we scroll down, he says, the Terareum tokenomics are reduced to a 2% burn overall, and that's the Uniswap only. So in the DeFi space, Uniswap is still the only place where we have liquidity for trading in the DeFi space. There's a lot of centralized exchanges, and he actually mentions that they'll be connecting, talking to centralized exchanges about what they're doing with the tokenomics of Terareum. But down below here, he says they've also disabled the marketing wallet and rewards to 0. So right now, the reflections are turned off, the marketing wallet is turned off, and so instead of a 9% tax, people buying right now are saving 7%. Or if you're selling right now, you're getting an additional 7% back because the taxes are reduced to 2%, which is incredible. I knew they were going to reduce the burn percentage because they took a vote on that. And I think that's amazing that the team is actually listening to the community, that they're involving us. That's kind of what a community-run project is all about. And I can tell you guys early on, and this whole project is still early on, right? We're only 4 months in. But in the very beginning, Terareum made kind of a wild move. And the only other crypto I saw doing it at the time was TARP token. And Matt and Justin over at TARP were pretty good at explaining why they were doing it. It was not trendy at the time. Everybody thought that a project was more secure if the contract was renounced. And if that was the case, then you couldn't have the development team in there pulling the levers and changing the rules of the game in the middle of the road. So if you had unscrupulous developers, they could create a honeypot by raising the tax to 100%, and you could still trade it. There might still be liquidity, but if you go try to sell your token, they could put that tax on there and it would just basically take 100% of your money into the tax wallet. So, people were a little worried about this, but this is why they stated early on that they wanted to have control over that contract. They didn't want to renounce it, and it created a lot of trust issues. But if this is what they're going to do with it, I think the confidence in the community is going to come up. And certainly those of us buying and selling, I mean, if I were selling right now, thinking about getting an extra 7%, if you're selling $1,000 worth, that's a $70 difference in how much you get back versus how much is kept in terms of the tax. So well played, you guys. I appreciate it. Now, looking over at Dr. Praveen's, again, he's just saying, hey, he's excited too. We're seeing the holder count climb fairly fast. The tax is now converted to 2%, and he's talking about the fact that there are still utilities coming, right? A lot of crypto projects talk about someday they're going to develop a utility. Well, we've already launched Terapool. It seems like it's been a while, but truthfully, I mean, it was only the 4th of July. So we're not very far into that 15 days. And in another 10 days, 11 days, we're talking about a monster 20 quad burn. So amazing stuff. Looking back at Dr. Ramana's page here, he actually just retweets or gives a shout out to Milton and something he tweeted. Now, the reason I'm going here is because that is actually the point of Milton's tweet. So here's Dr. Ramana doing what Milton's asking for. So Milton says there's no bigger advertisement than holders following and retweeting your investment companies, technologies in social platforms. So if you hold Terareum, show your support. Like and retweet this Terapool pad. So they've created a new Twitter page for Terapool. You can see I'm not following, but it's as simple as that. Now I am, and I can go back, find that exact same tweet that he dropped. I guess I'll find it back in Dr. Ramana's page because it's probably in a retweet from him too. But I'm just going to come down, retweet this, give it a like. And, I watched the video. I'll just say love it, It's simple, you guys. We don't have to go to massive extremes. You don't have to, if you want to, you certainly can. But you don't have to create all of your own content. You can just use some of the amazing content that's already out there and simply retweet it. Share it with your friends. Share it with the people that you're connecting with in social media. So the last thing I want to do is just jump back over and look at reflections. Now, it's been a monster 3 days, and it's going to get way less interesting because the tax has effectively been reduced to 0 for reflections. And I'm okay with that. And I'll show you why here in just a minute. Okay. So my bag currently sits at 10 trillion, 110 billion, 269 million. It's an increase of 465 million over 3 days ago. Since I started tracking this on the 21st of February, which is when the token was launched, I've received nearly 35 billion in reflections, which is currently worth $83. Now, why I'm saying I'm okay with them shutting down reflections, even though that's a part of these tokens that I really like, is I will take price appreciation over reflections any day, because, reflections are just a very small part of your overall bag. You can see here my total token value, $83 in reflections versus, in excess of 20,000 now in a total token value. So price appreciation over reflections, yeah, I can handle that. And with that tax down, it's going to make it easier for people to get into Terrarium. It's also easier for people to get out of Terrarium. But we're seeing a steady holder count rise and just lots of excitement. So Milton, Dr. Ramana, development team, all of the folks that are working over in India in the new headquarters to make Terrarium an amazing project. As an investor, I appreciate you. There's only been a couple of times since I started investing in crypto, about a year ago, that I ever really felt like, as a community member, that I truly had a say in the direction that the project was going. And I know it can't always be that way. There's lots of people out there, and you guys really understand the dynamics behind what's happening with the project. But it feels good to have a voice and to see other people have a voice, and then see that play out right in front of our eyes, as community members. So folks, I hope you're having an amazing day. I will have a Terrarium Tuesday video for you tomorrow, but check back with me soon. We'll watch our crypto stacks grow together.